Alright, figured I'd share my headaches I'm having. So, working on this downpipe and oil lines and wastegate piping. I've got the wastegate mounted. It's welded up. Just got it kind of loosely clamped in here where it can still swivel if I want to. But I've got it, I think, positioned where I need it. I'm working on welding the dump pipe over there. What's the purge line's going into. I'm letting it cool now because I'm already overheating the shit out of the welds and making them this dull gray nastiness instead of this nice pretty bead. So trying to learn how to weld this tubing better. The flanges I can do no problem. Like the flange welds come out pretty good, other than where I've joined them after I made the loop. I don't know why I didn't start it on the back side so this wouldn't be visible. The underside looks great, go figure. But anyways, so the dump tube is gonna come 90 up, turn, and that piece of flex over there is gonna run pretty much parallel right here with this dump tube, and then it's gonna 90 over into this. So that's coming along. I just cut a couple of little somewhat pies out of the straight tubing I got just to get some angles. The headache I'm having is this oil return, which is gonna be a pain in the ass. So this is the oil return fitting that goes on the bottom of the turbo. Now, one thing I didn't think about trying to do is mounting this as high as possible, which is what Precision's turbo installation instructions say. I don't know if AGP's did, because I actually didn't find this little zip lock until way later after I was already done with the header stuff. Turns out they did actually include this return and this feed with the turbo along with this flange. I ordered an extra one and had them send it to me without realizing this was in the box already, because it was buried underneath. But anyways, so this kicks off, it's roughly about an inch from the flange of the turbo where it drains. Then you have to thread in MPT fitting. Then you have AN fitting that goes on top of that. That's a good 3-4 inches added onto that. So luckily they did send me 2 of these, because aluminum fitting, threading into aluminum, even with Teflon, I galled the shit out of the threads when I tried to pull it back apart. I tried to thread it in. I had a 90-degree MPT. I tried to thread it into where it would clock right. Well, it didn't want to come back out because I had this swivel MPT, but it makes it stand up another inch taller. But regardless, what I found out is, without the boring shit, this where the tape is here, right there, is the drain. So this bottom flange, where my finger's sitting, is the drain. This is the return line, just kind of roughly laid in here. Probably routed the best route I can figure, which is gonna be 90'd over, across the engine, across the top of the timing cover, across through this these spacers, and then granted it's not gonna be touching the exhaust like it is, but and then on down, because the drain, if you remember any of the other videos, is down there, that little bead right there. Sorry for the shitty lighting, I don't have a flashlight close by. Anyways, you can see the Allen head down there. That's where the dipstick goes. The drain is right behind it. It's got a little black block-all cap on it. Anyways, so it's got to go down to that. Realistically, it would have been better if I had a drain on the passenger side. Hindsight 2020. Realistically, it would have been better if the turbo was mounted higher and I wasn't so jammed up with exhaust and alternator and all this other bullshit that's in the way, because it's not really any room to run this old return line anywhere. And what it's looking like is, I'm gonna take the one that's over there on the bench, which I'll come show you actually. I'm gonna take this that I destroyed the threads on. I cut the end of it off to drop it down as much as I could. And then I'm gonna take the fitting that I also destroyed the threads on and chop them off. I'm gonna take them to my aluminum welding guy, and have him weld this. Hopefully. I'm gonna have to kick it just enough to where I can still get the bolt in, but have him weld it there. I'm hoping that will be tight enough that I can get that fitting there. Because other than that, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna run it. Best practice, you're supposed to have this thing gravity feedback to the oil pan. Best route is down in a slight loop. Just kind of can't do that. No way possible that I know of. Not with the way this headers are set up and all this other shit. I have no clue how you do it. So the only other option there is they do make these return pumps, but I don't know how that would all work. I really don't want to deal with the hassle of having to do that. So I'm hoping this setup, I can make it work. So yeah, there's a fine example of, I don't know if I can get the lighting. You see the welds on the flange somewhat. Those are nice beads versus the blob of shit right here and this nasty blob work, and then nice beads on the flange. Go figure. I guess I just can't manage the heat that great because the flange is able to soak up enough of the heat from the torch where the tubing can't. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm not getting my puddle quick enough or I'm not moving quick enough once I get the puddle. I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep playing with it. More practice, I guess. Regardless, this is all temporary, like I said, because eventually I'll be getting twins and I'll have a whole nother headache of trying to deal with exhaust work. Dreading that when the time comes. But I did order some flex for this, and I got some more straight tubing there. So I can go back to working on this exhaust. Same thing here. Too much heat, nasty gray, terrible welds. The underside is actually better, go figure. And then, same thing here. Decent flange. Some of them are a little better than others. Others are dull, gray, and shitty. Need more TIG practice. But anyways, that's it for now, I guess. If anyone knows any kind of better idea for routing this oil line, my only option other than that would be just dropping it straight down with the straight MPT, 45 in it kind of away from the belts, and running it. But then I don't know how well it's gonna work because it's gonna lose gravity at that point because it can only go down so far and then it's got to go across the car, and it's gonna, like, the only other path I know of is like running it right underneath the radiator here or something, and then back through like here, this little gap in this area, and then the drain flange is roughly the same level as this fucking sway bar, so I don't know. Hope I don't have oil drain issues, or this thing's gonna be smoking like a chimney burning oil that it's not getting out of the turbo. All right. I'm about done messing with this for the day because I'm getting irritated, frustrated, etc. dealing with this, trying to figure out how the hell I'm gonna do it. I thought the wastegate was gonna be the nightmare, but it looks like it's gonna be a piece of cake because it literally just 90s up. That piece I have welded up over there literally puts that flex right here, and the only other thing I'm gonna have to do is fit up some pie cuts to 90 into this and then drill a hole. It's gonna be easy peasy. And the only other thing I haven't decided is whether or not I want to do some V-band flanges and clamps to separate the exhaust into a couple different sections to where I can pull it apart easier and mount it up easier. I don't know if I want to put a flange up here or if I want to put the flex I ordered and then put the V-band at the end of the flex. I just don't know yet. Guess I'm gonna wait till that shows up and then we'll see. I do need to order some couplers or whatever for these two lines. This is the 6AN power steerings. I want to get some little line holders to group these together up here and then down low, keep them from rubbing anything. And I guess that's it for now. Like I said, figuring out this oil drain is going to be the biggest nightmare for now. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Sorry I made this so long. Later.